Classic butt pounder 20 question. When is ESL going to announce their new Sierra Leonean Blood Diamond Championship rings for the next winners of the Intel Grand Slam? Actually funny.
It's funny though. You know what I actually do enjoy about jokes like that, Monty, is this is how you know how fucked in the head the virtue signalers are. When you say that, I guarantee for half a second they get their hairs up like, oh, that's offensive. And then they realize, shit, wait, the implication is if I'm offended by that, but not the fact that that is real, I'm the biggest piece of shit. It's like they almost get a moment of lucidity. It just draws them back in a second. That's why if people don't know my tweets, I know I'm going up to the line because the second they point that out, I can point out they don't actually care about what the real thing is. It's like the joke of like, it's more offensive to say that these people are genociding people than them genociding people. What's wrong with your hierarchy of values where that's where you're coming up on this? Because, by the way, I've got a really sad spoiler for all the young men who are in the audience. If you really think, that's it, game's over, they have to pack up shop, no more virtue signaling now, this is your first rodeo, son.
Yeah,
they'll be
it's
back
coming.
twice as hard next week. They'll just wait a week and they'll be back at it. And if you say, by the way, what about the ESL? They'll just go, can't they grow and learn? And they've got all these initiatives. Like, these people, their ideology is self-contained. There are no off-ramps. It just circles back into the center again. Like you're on a fucking tilt-a-wheel. There's no way out.
Well, unfortunately, the reality of the situation for a lot of these people is that they have to continue to justify their own virtues, basically.
Dude, here's an angle. I guarantee some even go with this approach. They're going to go, better that the money goes to a good person like me who does do activism more than a mean person like Monte. That'll be their fucked up wolf, yeah, for real.
Well, and the thing about it is like, if you don't have any other choices or you're not willing to take risks, then what your brain is going to do is to attempt to logically justify you being part of these projects or whatever. And like, for me at least, I just have embraced the nihilism of global capitalism, and I don't think there is clean money anymore. So, you know, I have to make my own decisions based on these truths that make me deeply uncomfortable, but at the same time, I don't see a way that I can ever get away from a lot of these factors and continue to live my life without being a self-sufficient hermit in the woods, which frankly does sound more and more attractive as time goes on.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
But it's really tough. It's really tough to live an ethical lifestyle in global capitalism or capitalism in general, because, you know, there's even shit that like factory farming that I think is going to be, I think in 100 years when we have artificial sources of meat or like lab grown meat or whatever, that's going to be pretty frowned upon. Like, I think it's going to be seen as a giant moral failure of the time, which it's hard to argue about now, but it's just seen as a necessity because people want access to cheap meat, basically. So anyway, there's so many
esports industry. Boom, boom, boom.
exactly. But I think it's just really tough to be in these situations. But to me, the thing about it is that this is all going to come full circle, which is that if you are not a piece of shit, you don't attack people on social media about, you know, their flaws or perceived lack of virtues in a way to pump up your own. And I think that the easy like dopamine rush that you get from a bunch of people agreeing with you really ignores the human being on the other side of it. And I would just say we are all complicit in this system in one way or another. And so to go off and just like crazy virtue signal and then sign up for this system again is just shitty. Like, stop doing that. Like, just admit to yourself that you're part of this system and just deal with that however you need to deal with it. That doesn't involve going on social media and being a dick.
Yeah, but
you can still get all the same money for your charities and do things that you think are good.
Of course.
Just don't fucking moral grandstand. That's his point.
But the point is the narcissism, for fuck's sake. It's not the end result. It's not about, when these people do that, they don't even care about the charity or the cause.
Of course, they care about feeling good. And but more importantly, they care about the validation of somebody they see as a peer group. And spoiler, by the way, those same people
people that are giving you little fucking love hearts and stay strong and fucking, I don't know, there's probably a fucking emoji to express solidarity these days that I don't know about because I'm a boomer, right? You know, all of those people will fucking turn on you the minute you express an opinion that slightly deviates from the dogma they've assigned themselves to get through their fucking shitty life, like we're all trying to do. It's you want to talk about what's unsustainable. Here's what's unsustainable. Creating a life for yourself where it's imperative you are always on the right side of every argument and opinion that is ever presented publicly. Can't be done. But that's how they want to live because the fucking inner narcissist tells them this is the... I can do this. Me. I will crack the code. No, you fucking won't. You will falter and fail like every other fucking human being on this planet, and when you do, the people that were telling you were great on Monday will kick you to death on Wednesday. It's just a hide into nothing.
And here's the thing, is that if you always agree with the, quote, correct, unquote, opinion, right, you're actually just not even a person who has your own thoughts. Like, it's actually impossible to be that person, and to hold people to that standard is fucking ridiculous. And also boring. It's just also just fucking boring.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.